Oh, been up since 4 this morning. We made it to Raleigh-Durham. It's like when you have an 11-hour layover, that's going to be the one time that Delta actually takes off on time. So had to pick up our luggage and go through security to pick up the luggage, which at Raleigh-Durham there we have vending machines, Coke, snacks. There's no food outside security. And of course Iceland Air doesn't open up the counter until about 2 or 3 hours before the flight. So just sit out here basically killing time, walking, getting exercise, watching people. But like I say, been up since 4 a.m. We'll probably not sleep on the plane tonight, and then I'll work to go through the full day tomorrow, which probably means about 42 hours non-stop awake. I can't sleep on a plane. So less than 48 hours now until the marathon. So I know other airports are much worse than this, but just the idea that probably not a lot of flights so far today, and we already see this is, I don't know, unclaimed misdirected luggage for this, just a couple of airlines. Then it goes down further, there's more down that way and around the corner. Alan is actually working for a couple of hours on conference call. 11:22. I guess I don't need to worry about food quite yet. Although I do base my vacations around food, apparently. It's like, oh, we gotta have breakfast and lunch and dinner at the airport. I have 2 dinner reservations for carbo loading for the race and then for horse meat on the next night. Food is very important to me. Hey, 1:30. I had Popeyes. I managed to get through security okay. Now that we have free time, it's like, let's take some time and charge our electronics. And this is probably less than we would usually be charging when we travel. And there aren't many outlets here available. Pure Leaf Real Brewed Tea, whose tagline should be, if you think I taste bad now, wait for the aftertaste. Beggars can't be choosers. I still have 3 more hours before, about 3 more hours, possibly 4 before the counter opens for Iceland Air. So I'll suffer through this. I don't want to keep trying to run through security every time I want something. Okay, got a breezy 48 degrees this morning. Great day to be in shorts and t-shirt running. Got about 40 minutes to get down there. A lot of anxiety. I just don't know if I could do this, but the way I looked at it is, if I can't do it, I can just take off the bib and walk away and nobody will ever know. Not much of a chance of rain, thank goodness. I don't know what to say. Just kind of I want this to be over successfully. So just keep going down to the lake, starting line, and see what happens. I figure I'll probably be the person wearing a water bag, pockets full of sports beans, and I just have to not care what people think. I'm also probably, I don't know, a few people that's just going to be in shorts and t-shirt maybe. At least when I've been training in 90-degree weather. It does make it cold. Alright, I made it to the start line. Yay! Once again, we'll see how everything goes. 7.5 hours to finish. Hopefully I can finish in about 5, 5.25, 5.5 latest. So, wish me luck. I wish myself luck. Nobody can see this but me right now. I trained for this marathon for 3 years, and this is me at 6.5 kilometers with only 36 to go. I already look miserable. And as I'm crossing the finish line, the announcer says, "And here we have another happy runner." I just tilted my head and yelled back, "No, we don't." I got a few laughs from the crowd, but at least I made it to the finish line. Get it. All right. About 5 hours, 31 minutes. Never again. But I did it. Glad it's over. I am sick of bananas and sports beans and Gatorade. I'm looking forward to the horse tonight. Yep, no more. That's it. It's 3:01 p.m. Switzerland time. And we are on the train. We got from the airport, figured out how to get to the hotel, got checked in, and just hoofed it over back to the train station. We're heading to Brugge on the train, then we have to take a bus, and then we have we have to take a train, then we have to walk, then we take a bus, then we have to walk to Habsburg Castle, where we will have dinner at 5:30, and then we have to reverse it and figure out how to get back. The train's kind of easy enough, but we'll have to figure out the buses as well. It's hot here compared to Iceland. I think I want to say it's in the 70s. Look, IKEA. Hey, we're in Switzerland. We got an IKEA. Imagine that. No, that's Sweden. Duh. I have blonde hair.
Kilwangen-Spreitenbach.
So that's Kilwangen-Spreitenbach is where we're at the next stop. Then we have about 6 or 7 more stops after that, and then we get off. We are in first class. Kind of worth it, I think. I mean, it's just, it is empty. There aren't a lot of people on the second class, but you just don't have to worry about things as much. The cars are quieter. Ooh, speaking of quiet cars, I mean, compared to MARTA, you can't even hear these trains going. MARTA just like rattles your muscles and bones, and noisy as all get out. So we have a lot to learn. I did say everything on the train, that the wires are over the train tracks, and I'm like, that won't work in Atlanta because the people will throw their shoes over them, and they'd have to clean them every day, or we'd have train delays on a regular basis. Then tomorrow is free morning, so Alan can do the Swiss gear store and spend a fortune. I can look at some watches and wish I could spend a fortune. I'm going to be a good boy, I hope, because the watches are expensive. And then we do an old city tour with a ferry ride and a cable car up to Fesselnegg for a little snack and drink, and then head back down. And then we had the evening free for whatever. We made it on the bus, okay. Now we're going up to Habsburg Castle, home seat of the Habsburg Empire. I should probably not be walking in the road. I needed to add narration, and I thought about talking about the history of the cities, history of the castles, the ruins, whatever, and then I realized if you want history, go to Wikipedia, go to their websites. This is about my vacation, why I chose what I did, and what I thought about what I did. Switzerland wasn't my first choice for vacation. For me, my first choice is always Iceland. And people ask why. Well, it's just finally realized because I just haven't gotten tired of it yet. But anyway, when I do go to Europe, I do love castles.
something you don't get in the United States. And so I did not really think of Switzerland being known for castles, and didn't know about the Habsburg Castle, but did a quick Google search and it was one of the first three that comes up. It happened to be close to Zurich, so I decided that would be the first thing we would do, because we'd arrived on Sunday and it was closed on Mondays and we'd be leaving Zurich on Tuesday. Whether the castle is open or not is based on when the restaurant's open. So basically it's not a big tourist destination, so not much of a crowd, but I just made reservations for dinner so that we'd be able to take a tour, or basically a self-guided tour of the castle. There's not a whole lot to see. A lot of it's been turned into the restaurant. It looks like meeting rooms and such. You can go into the keep. Just take the stairs, and the further I went, the steeper the stairs got, the narrower they got, and the more shallow they were. And with the camera, you can't really get a good view of everything. It's just basically you see me filming either the walls or the stairs as I'm climbing. I do like the old castles, though. I think this one was built the original was built 1,000 years ago. Right now, all that has is basically ruins. This portion, I believe, was built around 1200, in the 1200s. On the top floor, they have a fake tower viewer that's fixed in a position overlooking the old castle. It's just a viewfinder with a 3D image of how the castle used to look about 1,000 years ago. As you swing around here to this window, then you have, oh look, it's a latrine or a toilet. Toilet with a view. Yeah. Most of the castles that you find online are really to the southeast. And since it was a shorter trip, we wanted to stay around the metropolitan areas, like flying into Zurich and then leaving through Geneva, so we only had the 6 nights. And that's why we just kind of stuck in that straight line from Zurich to Bern to Lausanne, Montreux, and Geneva. So this is a Sunday evening, first class, on the train, Swiss Rail Pass. As you can see, we pretty much have our choice of seats. So, is it an advantage to have first class?
versus second? Not necessarily on a Sunday. We'll find out when we travel on Tuesday. That's the next train ride. So we'll just have to see. But I do get a sit up top. I just like having the first class, whether it's a prestige thing or what. I miss iced tea. That's what I miss more than anything right now. So I'm looking forward to get back to that. But well, no, I'm missing my cat more than anything. But yeah, for me, I'm missing iced tea.
Schlieren.
I mean, everything, I don't want to say run down, but it's probably that it's directly on the train line, so it's not as updated as some things. You probably get out away into the undeveloped sections. And
Before the trip, we found out about the Victorinox flagship store, so that's going to be the pictures of the register, because Alan was already planning on spending a lot of money, and I just wanted to document how much he actually did spend. I'd actually been in Zurich back in November of 2016 for work, and didn't feel like hanging around, so I made a beeline after work was done to go to Rome instead. So this time I had a little more time to spend in Zurich looking for things to do. When you go to Viator and TripAdvisor and look for top 10 things to do in Zurich, you basically come out with one or two things, and everything else are day trips. So I ended up doing this old town tour, ferry ride, cable ride up to Fesselneg. What I don't like about tour groups is that you're on someone else's schedule. I enjoy being able to do what I want to do, go see what I want to see when I want to see it, and stay as long as I want to. Would have liked to spend more time around the lake here in the marina, but we had a very quick walk out on the jetty here, and then we had to get back to the bus so we could continue with the tour. And from the lake, we went to Old Town, and we would do a short little walking tour, which turned out to be very short. Here at this particular church, we all oohed and awed over the Chagall stained glass windows, myself included. And then I kind of realized, well, I don't really know who Marc Chagall is. I was thinking I did, but I was getting him confused with someone else. So instead of Chagall, I believe I was thinking of Degas, and then I still couldn't even think of anything that Degas painted. So I don't know exactly where my mind was when I was on this part of the tour, except thinking, hey, I've done all this before. So we just walk around, take some photos and video. I really loved the way the sun was glinting off of the gold on the clock, so I took several pictures of that. The Reformation pretty much did away with all things Catholic. But these frescoes in the cloister were later created to pay homage to the foundation of the church. After passing through Fraumünster, we were able to take a quick turn in the Old Town Square before making our way to River Lamont and Grossmünster. Of course, I didn't get a chance to go to Grossmünster because being on another tour, I had to make sure I got back to the bus in order to continue on to towards Fesselneg. After the short walk around Old Town, we got back on the bus for a bit of a drive through the city, which was interesting because every building he pointed out was basically late 1800s. Like, that's when the entire city came about. But then we drove along the east coast of the lake, also known as the Gold Coast, just because they get a little more sunlight in the evening than the other coast, the west coast, which is called the Silver Coast. Also, the Gold Coast used to be more expensive to buy property than the Silver Coast, but he says now that they're pretty much neck and neck with the price of property the way it is. So after driving along the lakeside for a while, we ended up taking the bus onto the ferry for the 10-minute ferry ride across the lake. As the ferry reached the west bank, we got back on the bus and had a short drive to the base of Fesselneg, where we then took the cable car up to the cafe at the top so we could have a brief snack and overlook the lake and surrounding countryside. Going up in the cable car, I was sort of stuck in the middle, not getting a great view of everything, so I made a point to leave the cafe a little bit early, and so that I could be the first one in line to get onto the cable car and get a prime position with the open window where I could stick my camera out and get a good recording of the trip all the way down, which you get to watch in its entirety. After the cable car ride, it was back on the bus for a short drive back to Zurich. Our guide told us about Paddy Riley's Irish pub, and I thought, what better way to have dinner than in a country that specializes in French, Italian, and German cuisine than to go to an Irish pub. Then it was back to the hotel to relax because we had another full day coming up tomorrow.
It is Tuesday, one day of the week. What day of the month? What day of the month? Alan, what day is it?
23rd.
23rd, August 23rd. We're supposed to be leaving Zurich right now, but Alan has to make a third trip to the Victorinox store, Victorinox flagship store. So they don't open until 10, so I'll do a little filming. Alan will go buy another suitcase and accoutrement that goes with it, I'm sure. Yeah, some packing bags and things. And then we'll head towards Bern if time permits.
On the way to and from the Victorinox store, we did some filming, both VR and 4K. Alan bought him a second suitcase, so with the spare suitcase, I thought I'd leave a little note on it that says, do with this what you want. We were able to get the body in another suitcase. Of course, he didn't let me leave that on there, which is probably good. We probably would have gotten in trouble for that.
Alright, waiting for our train to come in. He finally got packed up all the stuff into his new luggage, and so now we will be heading to Bern, get there about 1 o'clock, have a bite to eat, walk around Old Town, and then continue on to Montreux. So we should be seeing our train pull in shortly because it is 11:46 and our train leaves at 11:53. Once again, the idea of a Swiss Rail Pass is very good because you do not have to worry about getting a ticket for a particular day, a particular train. As soon as you see something on the board that you want, that's the train you can go for. So I do recommend the Swiss Travel Pass to everyone. And like I said, I still like first class, even though you can see it's not too busy. It's not too busy here, so first class, you know, who cares if I spend a little extra money on that? So, oh, here comes our train, I think. Here comes our train. Here it comes. Here it is. Our train. First class. That's where we can go. First class. We can go to that one. Alright, yeah, we gotta move. Alright. Because we will be up there.
Da Snacks und kalten und warme Getränken. Für Auskünfte steht Ihnen unser Zugpersonal gerne zur Verfügung. Nächster Halt, Einstecken.
Since this is one of those few trips where I didn't rent a car, I wanted to pick hotels that were relatively close to the train stations. But you have to be careful because you don't really realize how extensive the train yards are, and you have to pick a hotel that's close to the train depot and not just somewhere along the train yard, or else you could have a long walk ahead of you. Eventually, we figured out why all the trains were labeled SBB CFFFFS. That's because Switzerland has 3 recognized national languages, so Swiss Federal train in German, French, and Italian.
So here we have Alan filling out all of his tax forms to get his money back that he can for the VAT on the couple of items he bought at Victronics. Victronics. Okay.
Saying it. 121 will be in Bern. The problem with not renting a car and letting someone else take the reins means that when you want to take pictures of something that you see, you can't very well because you have dirty windows, you have reflections, you have the train moving so fast that it skews the angles, and it's just difficult to get a good picture, so you just have to sit back and enjoy.
So we're going to have lunch, walk around Old Town a bit, get some video, then we'll get back to the train station and look for a train to Lausanne or to Montreux. We got all afternoon to get there. It's a short ride. We made it to Bern. Up there's the clock. Hopefully I can get that going off at some point with VR video. Now we are in Old Town, so next is for old world atmosphere. I like this more than Zurich. And I'm going to a dangerous place, maybe. We'll see.
I was hoping to find the old covered bridge that crossed diagonally over the river, but instead I ended up here at this church. Eventually I realized that the bridge was actually in Lucerne and not Bern, so I guess I should pay closer attention to Rick Steves' shows. Bern's website says, as the clock prepares to strike the hour, large groups gather in front of the clock tower in Bern's Old Town to watch the one-of-a-kind performance that always takes place at this moment. The mechanical figures, including a parade of bears, a jester, a golden rooster, and Kronos, the god of time, enthrall visitors young and old from near and far. I would say enthralled is kind of a strong word. I was expecting more myself. I don't know why. I mean, it's impressive in its own right that it's been around since about 1530 and has such chimed about 4.3 million times. But I just was kind of expecting a little more of a spectacle. Maybe if I had taken the tour inside the clock, that would have been more impressive. But I was a little pressed for time because we did have to get to Montreux. We are on the train to, well, we managed to make a train to Lausanne. Then we'll get there at about, let's see, what's this say, 5:40. That gives us 22 minutes to get to whatever platform we are on. We stop on to platform 3, and then we get where we get a train to Montreux at like 6:02 or 6:01, if Google is right, and then we head on to Montreux. So we're on an IC1 train right now. The S trains are better than the IC trains. The S trains are they're the faster trains. They're the single level trains. Look overall, just newer. The IC trains are sort of like maybe more like the commuter trains or something. 2 floors. First class is just a few cars at the base, and then it'd be like second class, and the rest second class. But once again, we timed it just so that we were able to get to a train in time. So I like not having to buy any other train tickets. I can't stress that enough. Is just get your Swiss Rail Pass. So we made it to Montreux. We are at your hotel, Montreux. Corner room with a lake view and a balcony. Just get what is it? It is now 6:37, so we have to go ahead and figure out what we're going to do for dinner. But here is a quick view from the room. So tomorrow we head off in that direction to Sion for a Château Tourbillon and a monastery museum. That's sort of all on the agenda for tomorrow. Now let's look down. That's the promenade along the lakefront. And that should be where the boats leave from. And then 2 days from now we go to Château de Chillon. There we go. I guess I'm a little tired. So the good thing is, right here is the train station. So it was a very quick trip down those stairs between Grand Motel Suisse and whatever that is with the red awnings, to street level, across the street, and into the hotel. Easy peasy. It's Wednesday, August 21st, here in Montreux. Sunrise, 7:20 a.m. Sun isn't working over the hill mountains yet, but it's on its way. Today we go to Sion, Château Tourbillon, and the museum there. That's all we have planned. And there is the hotel. As I mentioned, we are on the 16th floor. Château de Chillon, here on Lake Geneva in Montreux. I'm going to do a tour of that today, and then tomorrow, and then do Sion after this. And this is also Fort de Chillon. I'll have to look up, don't know anything about it. And go further up, we got the highway. And we'll be going that way to Sion later, hopefully by the trains.
And so video cameras cannot take in everything, which is why I like my VR. You just have to awkwardly scan the entire place.
Château de Chillon was a lot larger than it looked like from the outside, and I didn't take time to rent an audio guide, so it was just walking around and reading the literature that was hanging on the walls and so forth. I was pretty impressed with the basement by itself, which acted as a prison, and I'm thinking I could have lived here. It would have been pleasant to me. As hot as it was outside, at least it felt comfortable down here in the dungeon. So you just sit back. We got about a 10-minute tour, condensed from the couple of hours that it took me to go through. And I'll see you on the other side. This person because it's nice and cool in here.
chamber. We go into the bathroom. The bath. And there comes the bath into the water closet. Two-seater. And there just goes out into the lake. Yeah, yes, really. My head hits the ceiling. And my knee still hurts after the marathon. I keep hitting my head. Okay. Oh. See, that's the kind of ceiling I like. Really. Fir tree. And that way is Geneva. Courtyard here on the top floor, top-ish floor. We are in the chapel of Château de Chillon. That was Alan taking pictures of the ceiling, and now he had to get up. All right. He made it. He's doing better than I am right now. .217, and we finally reached Château Tourbillon. And over there, you'll see that better when we get up there. And the monastery that is now a museum. So we're going to start the hike up here, up there, up there. Don't forget, so up top there are the ruins. And of course, it's got to be a steep hill. Extreme vacations. It's way off. That is the monastery. That's the museum part. And then the ruins of Tourbillon will be coming up maybe
Alright, show you the monastery. Oh, that will be fun. That will be a walk. That's fine with me, I'll do it. Alan's gonna be surprised. Oh my gosh, look at that view. I'm not going to make you watch me climb all the way up there.
No, I'm not.
But you're not?
No, not with those steps.
Okay.
I go
Well.
to the museum.
You do the museum?
Yep.
We can meet down here and have a beverage and rest. All right. Take your time, I'll take my time. Yep, it's not easy. So, Alan's gonna do the museum, I'm gonna do the ruins. So far I've made it from down there. Actually, I made it from down there where it says Nord. And we walked over there somewhere, ended up here, came up here, to here, where then notice they're growing grapes over the car park, making use of the area. So at that level is the monastery. That's beautiful. And then now I've got to go from here up there, on up to there, and beyond. Sort of reminds me of the Inca Trail, but worse steps. Don't want to get too close to the edge. Oh, slippery rocks. Ugh. Trying to pay attention to the camera and to my feet. That's a challenge. Hey. No more marathons. Of course, you get up here and realize you still got a long ways to go. Time to turn it off again. All right. Yay. I made it. I made it almost a few steps away. Oh, wow. What a view. Next vacation is somewhere cool or cold. And we're in.
cafe. I didn't really feel like that, but then I decided might as well try and get a higher view of the ruins. So I'll see if I can make my way up to the museum before he meets me. He likes taking pictures of everything. So I probably found someone to talk to. It's all good. I made it up to the top and haven't seen Alan, so maybe he's still inside. Here is our train coming in, and we'll go from Sion to Montreux directly. We won't have any other stops. Go down the stairs and get to the hotel. I'm kind of ready for a break, so we'll just keep it light dinner this evening. I did that pretty good. Alright. Here is our train. First class. Alright, we're on the train on our way back to Montreux. We'll be there in about 45 minutes or so. And a short walk to the hotel. My tripod is on its last leg, which technically makes it a monopod, but none of the legs are actually broken. It's broken two places at the top of it on the head, like I was a year ago. I'm going to try and get through the rest of the vacation using it. I just have to be careful not to. I just have to be able to hold it by the camera and not by the tripod, so I don't break the camera. But I don't want to buy a tripod here at the price that they would most likely be. I'll make it work. But unfortunately, the camera too is now the fan is not turning off during filming, which I can live with. I'll just have to change the audio track and see how that goes. Here's a windmill. Let's see what we get. We got a windmill. Where's the windmill? Is that? Yeah, there we go. Also noticed when I try to speak in French, my voice kind of goes up an octave. It's like, bonjour, ça va? Bonjour. Où est le petit déjeuner, s'il vous plaît? I'm like, okay, then I've got to ask, why is this happening? I'll have to ask my French Canadian friends if they do that, between English and French.
Und wann magst du?
But it's just
Deutsch, ist es stärker und elegant.
Yeah, what he said, whatever he's saying, I'd say in Deutsch, you kind of drop an octave probably. Yeah, okay. Yeah, drop an octave. No, Achtung. Mach schnell. Ja, that's Icelandic. Icelandic just sounds like you're running out of breath. You got a bad emphysema.
Well, that's because they... Oh, you weren't laughing at me. I thought he was laughing at me. Because they inhale during a number of their words. So they always sound tired when they're talking. English is the best.
Here in Lausanne, up at the cathedral, largest church in Switzerland. Just stopping here on our way to Geneva for a brief look, and then we'll go to another Victorinox store.
Namaka Float today. We have the floating. We have the sauna. Alan's going to float while I do the sauna. Then we'll swap off. You have this little zen room. A chill space. We're having a glass of water, a little hot tea. Literally like 50 hours of floating with 4 sounds in complete blackness. 50 minutes. Did I say 50 hours? It might feel like 50 hours. Okay. So I think this is gonna be great. Looking forward to it. It's raining outside anyway, so we wouldn't be doing much. So here we are in the Ayashi Dome sauna. Infrared sauna. Stick with your head out, on belly for 15 minutes, then on your back for 15 minutes. They do weighing. Oh, this should be pleasant. They'll give me music. We're going to set it on a setting of 7 out of 10. I finished the infrared treatment. At the start, I had a metabolic age of 46. Now remember, I'm 58, so that's not bad. And then after the treatment, I had a metabolic age of 45. So now I'm waiting. I'm just taking time in the chill room. We'll have a glass of coconut water, and then I will do the float. So I will now sit down and enjoy my coconut water. Hey life. Organic coconut water. I know, I guess I was mistaken when I said I was going to enjoy my coconut water. I think it's the first time I've had coconut water. So, no, not a big fan of coconut water. I'll finish it though. It helps my electrolytes. Right now, I'm getting ready to do I'm not doing the cocoon, they're putting me in the tank. And you have a shower I already had a shower in the steam, so I don't have to do the shower here prior. And the tank is currently filling, but she said I can go ahead and get in it. And then it'll all kick off when it's full enough. I guess the music will begin. All right, here we go. Okay, it's about 12:30. Yeah, 12:34. We have finished the infrared sauna and the isolation float tank. Float tank. Now we are just lounging in the chill room, waiting to do the oxygen rejuvenation, and we're pretty much both just taking it easy at this point. Kind of done. Now we're doing the oxygen bowl, which just mixes ambient air with essential oils, pine, and I think she might have said balsam. She wasn't sure what the translation would be in American. You just sit back and you breathe. So now, it is my turn. I just press the check button and then I can start breathing. We finished at Namaka. The hydration floating tank. It's warm, dark, and wet. Just like being back in the womb. if my mother's womb were 7 feet by 5 feet by 2 feet and drained unexpectedly sooner than I was ready to come out. So in fact, I guess it was like my mother's womb. They didn't have it working quite right, so they didn't get the lighting right. And I guess the draining just happened automatically. So I figured, okay, it might be dark, but I need to go ahead and try to get out. So I did, I showered. And now we're going to lunch at Père de Lac, about another 860 meters away. So, did nothing else scheduled for the day, just do whatever. Fortunately the rain stopped, but it's just now a little warm and humid. Probably on its way to hot and humid. But this is Lake Geneva. From the Geneva side. Just finished lunch. Lamb with garlic sauce, vegetables, Coke Light, Coke Zero. Now we're here on Lake Geneva, Lac Lamont, whatever. All mellow. It's not overwhelmingly crowded, so it's kind of a good way to do something.
Oh, great for the camera right back here.
Ian's got a waterproof camera. That's what you want, Ian.
As pleasant as always. Still like Sky Lagoon better. Oh, yep. Got 2 more hours to go here at Blue Lagoon. Get ready and go back to the airport. I'm going to put up the camera now
drop it.